Greetings, fellow Facebookites and fellow YouTubeites. Let's get ready to rock and roll! Now today is Tuesday, June the 10th of 2014, and I just got back from another D-backs game at the ballpark. And yeah, this is that two-game series we just had against the Houston Astros. We played them last night and today. So today was one of those days I had the day off. Okay, and of course, here's an ironic thing. Last night, the Astros got us. I forgot what the score was, but oh wow. So anyway, Astros beat us last night. But here's the good news. The ironic thing, we got revenge on them and we beat them today. So we tied the series at 1 apiece. Okay, of course, here's another ironic thing. When you talk about the Astros and my D-backs. My D-backs aren't done with the Astros yet. Because they're about to go on the road. If you recall, on my recent video where I passed along the D-back schedule for the month of June, I mentioned that they would have a two-game series here against the Astros. Then they're going to have another two-game series against the Astros over in Houston. And of course, that's tonight and tomorrow, the 11th and 12th, over in Houston. Okay, so I don't know if you call it a four-game series altogether, but you know, you can call it what you want. But anyway, so anyway, that's the way it goes there. And you want to hear something else that's ironic? Before Houston, we had a three-game series against the Atlanta Braves. And this past Friday at the ballpark was beach night. And good thing I got there when I did. You know, many of you fellow Facebookites have obviously seen this picture that I had. In fact, I think about 34 or 35 of my fellow Facebookites seen this by now. Yep. I had a picture made with a special guest, someone who starred in Baywatch, and before that, she was one of Bob Barker's babes on The Price is Right. And, of course, here's who I'm talking about right here. Here I am with Gina Lee Nolan. Of course, you can't really see it because of the focus, you know, but then again, you know, obviously this don't do it justice, but if you're one of my fellow Facebookites, you can find it in my, you know, you get the idea. You can find it on my timeline, so cool, huh? Yep. But here's the ironic thing. I got my picture taken with her, but I forgot to get her autograph. Can you believe that? That sucks. So, oh well. But, of course, I'm just turn this smartphone back off. Okay, and here's another ironic thing, which is kind of just the opposite. A month ago, this past May, you know, down at this bookstore in Tempe called Changing Hands, where they buy and sell books, you know, check this out. The legendary frontman of Kiss, Paul Stanley, came out with a memoir. And this is a book called, yeah, Face the Music, A Life Exposed. Okay? And, of course, I got it there and had it. And none other than Paul Stanley himself was there. So, of course, they already had the books signed. They were already signed by him. But so there was a meet and greet. But the ironic thing is, you know, I didn't have a smartphone then, and my previous phone, and what I should have did was delete a bunch of pictures from it, and unfortunately I didn't get a picture taken with him, so that sucks, Oh well, but nice to meet up with Paul Stanley, and but anyway, now here's another ironic thing, when I be going, because remember I said I just got back from the D-back game. Well, one of the D-backs did make a home run. In other words, he jacked a home run out of the park. And so we have a little deal. Whenever a D-backs player jacks a home run, then the next day, everyone goes down to Jack in the Box, any Jack in the Box location in the Phoenix area, and get a free jumbo jack with a purchase of a large sody water. So that's our little promotion. But here's the ironic thing here. While I was looking at my smartphone today, I found out that back in my old stomping grounds of Lubbock, Texas, they're closing down all the Jack in the Box places. Whew! Can you believe that? In fact, I found that out from one of my likes. Even though I've lived here in Phoenix for over 22 years, I got a few Lubbock TV stations as my likes on Facebook. And that's how I found out about this. And so I took a look at KCBD News Channel 11's website. And says here, all Lubbock Jack in the Box restaurants are closing. According to a corporate spokesman, the franchisee was notified yesterday, that they were, quote, non-compliant, unquote, with the terms of their agreement and needed to close immediately. And so, yep, in fact, there were 4 locations of Jack in the Box, around Lubbock, and they're having to close them all down, So, who knows? Maybe one day they'll buy, someone will come and buy the franchise, and maybe reopen them, But I guess that means to all you people, all you fellow YouTubeites and Facebookites in my hometown of Lubbock, the closest you can go to Jack in the Box, I think, would have to be the Midland, Odessa area. So, of course, here in Phoenix, I've got a Jack in the Box, not too far from my workplace. As a matter of fact, I also got a couple of I got a Jack in the Box about a stone's throw from my apartment, So, but doesn't that blow your mind, Yep. And here's one more ironic thing that that I could pass along to you. This past Sunday, I was watching the Miss USA pageant, and check this out. I looked at my Facebook on my smartphone, and one of my fellow Facebookites, while this pageant was going on, one of my fellow Facebookites said, and I quote, "So happy for this girl. I don't even personally know her, but I've been following her journey, and she seems like a beautiful and warm soul. Miss Nevada is now Miss USA." Huh. And so, right then, I responded, "Darn, I should have stayed away from my Facebook. I'm watching that pageant right now." And she responds, "Oops." And so I told this fellow Facebookite, "Hey, you're so laugh I forgot to funny." That's one of my favorite mixed up sayings. And another fellow Facebookite said, "Hey, I was watching this too. Oh man, so much for Miss Pennsylvania." And And it's like, well, I'm sorry, everyone is posting the winner everywhere. Oops. Well, of course, I did mention that at least I already knew Miss Texas was out, because they already did the, I guess the, what was it, the finalist or semi-finalist, you know, but anyway, of course, I was watching, while I was watching that, I was recording the last episode of that Cosmos show, so anyway, you know, that's the thing, you know, granted that pageant, you know, would be shown live, but really that only applies to most of the country. It doesn't apply to the West Coast. You see, I live here in the Phoenix area, and you remember I always tell you this every time I do those DBAX schedules, that all the times I quote are in Phoenix time, and here in Phoenix we never observe daylight savings time. So therefore, the way I see it, we might as well be in the Pacific Daylight Time Zone. You see? In fact, the only part of Arizona that does not observe Daylight Time Zone, that does not observe Daylight Savings Time, there I said it, is the Navajo Nation. And the reason why is because of the fact that parts of the Navajo Nation are also in Utah and New Mexico. You see? And so, so therefore, I guess to put, you know, I think it would be crazy, you know, if we used to divide the Navajo Nation like that, as far as time zones are concerned. But anyway, that's the way it goes, you know. But you know, granted, that's really one irony, you know. You know, finding out ahead of time just who won the pageant. But here's something even more ironic. This fellow Facebookite happens to know a thing or two about pageants. You know why? Because believe it or not, this particular fellow Facebookite, in fact, I just became fellow Facebookites with her this past weekend. She happens to be, in fact, hold on just a minute, make sure I say it right, you know, yeah, this fellow Facebookite happens to be, are you ready for this? She happens to be Mrs. Arizona. I take it back. Not Mrs. Arizona, Mrs. Phoenix for 2014. That's right, Mrs. Phoenix. Not Miss Phoenix, because she happens to be his. In fact, both, not only that, her husband, JR, happens to be another one of my fellow Facebook guys. So this, I'm going to give this shout out to JR and Erica Cardenas. I hope I said the last name right, but and as a matter of fact, JR became one of my Facebook guys. You know, he also happens to be a partner in crime of another Facebook guy that I mentioned several times, Vanessa Ramirez, aka Van Ram. Yep, and but I'll tell you what, you know, I sure hope Erica doesn't noogie me for putting her on the spot like this. Sorry, Mrs. Phoenix. So, okay, well, anyway, but anyway, that's the way the crumble cookies. Another one of my famous mixed up sayings. So that's the thing I decided I wanted to talk about here. Nothing but ironies. You know, and you know what? I think Alanis Morissette sang it best in one of her songs. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Okay, well, with all those ironies out of the way, I'm going to do my little... I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of birthday shout-outs. Now, I mentioned about those, the fact that my D-backs are coming to Houston for the next couple of nights to do those, to play 2 more games. Well, one of my fellow Facebookites who lives in Houston, and in fact, I've mentioned her a few times, you might remember when I did a video about my recent Thanksgiving vacation. I was hoping to see this girl, someone I went to high school with, one of those head cheerleaders I admired a lot. Hello, Heather. Yep, Heather Christman. She's the one. And in fact, you might remember I also mentioned in that video about her little Facebook blog. I have stuff to tell people. In fact, here it is right here. And it's spelled like one word. I have stuff to tell people. Yeah, this past Sunday was her birthday. So, hope you had a happy birthday, sweetie. You head cheerleader, you. And another shout out I want to give out. Another birthday shout out to one of my fellow D-backites, April Addington. Her birthday is this Thursday. Hope you have a happy birthday, sweetie. Now see you around the ballpark. Okay, now is that... okay, I think that's going to do it right there. So anyway, I decided to come on here since I got back from the D-backs game. So okay, so what more can I say? And so what more can I say? But that's the way it goes. So with that being said, that's going to do it for me for now. So until next time, let's get ready to rock and roll! Crisscross applesauce out. See you later.